So, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I want to share a little bit about my healing story so you know why I do what I do. There's so many times that maybe follow people and we don't really understand, you know, what they're doing or why we do it. To me, the people that I follow, I love their story. I love listening to them and listening to how they have transformed their lives. And that's what I want to do for you today. Hopefully, my story will inspire you and as I tell you my story, I'm not telling you because I want your sympathy or because I feel sorry for myself because I don't. I share my story because hopefully there's something in my story that will help you in your story. Now, as I share my story is not who I am. My story is my small instances in my life because I could share many different aspects of my life. But I share with you again so that you can see, for one, I'm in the ring with you. Okay, this is very important to me. And the work that I do as a coach and as a healer, I am in the ring with you. I'm not out there telling you, oh, you should do this and you should try that. And maybe you should do this. Maybe you should empower yourself. Maybe you should get out of shame and guilt. No, that's not what this is all about. I've lived it, I've done it, which is why I do what I do. And there's a story behind that as well. But there is a reason why I do this. And it's not to tell people how to live their lives. It's because I've been in the ring. I've been through hard things or what felt hard to me at the time. Now I have a different version of them. But because of that, I've been able to help other people transform their lives as well. And those are the people that I love to follow when I watch other people who have transformed their life and they share that publicly. What a gift. What a gift to the world. So this is what I want to offer you today. So I'm going to kind of start back in the beginning before Gina Stroll really even knew about intuitive healing or any of those things. I had no idea. I was raised in a very rural area, very boxed in. My family was very religious. The intuitive healing world, the mediumship world was not, I had no idea that it even existed. I didn't know anything about it. Um, and I was raised in that box. I came out of childhood feeling very, if you ask my husband today, the difference between when we first got married, I've been married 31 years to today, I have asked him that question. I haven't asked him for a couple of years, but I asked him that question at one point, and he told me my confidence was what has changed the most because the version of me 31 years ago would never have done any videos, any social media stuff. I would have never spoken my truth. I was too afraid to tell people what I thought. I came out of my childhood feeling very disempowered and not a confident person. I remember taking college classes and I had to stand up in front of people and talk. We had to do, can't remember what the assignment was. It's been too long ago, but I took a zero that day, even though that's not what I wanted to do, but I was not standing in front of people. I would never get up and speak in front of a group of people. And I love doing that today. I love sharing. I love talking. So there's a big difference. I was also very much a people pleaser. And I had had a lot of things that I did not realize until later in my life had severely impacted me as a person. Okay. And as the type of person that I wanted to be, I had a lot of things that went on in my younger years that I didn't realize had made such a big impression on me. Now I understand them now. Some of those things, a couple of those things was I was born with um, hip dysplasia, which back then, all those years ago, meant I was in the hospital for months and months at a time. My parents would take me out to the city. We lived in a rural area, drop me off, tell me goodbye, and leave me there. That happened a couple of times at 5 and at 10. That left a major impact on me. The message that I got from that was I wasn't good enough and I was a pain in the ass. That's what I gathered from that. Now, is that the intention that my parents meant to leave with me? I don't think so. but that was the feeling that I got. I remember every time we had to go out to the doctor, I felt like I was a pain in their ass again, yet I was costing them more money. And I was, you know, we weren't rich by any means, and it was expensive to drive to the city and to go out to see the doctor. And I felt like that I was just a pain in their ass. And so, there were things like that that came out of my childhood. And as I got into married life and having kids, really affected the way that I raised my kids. It affected my life with my husband. Um, and things that I thought were just the way that it was not the way the things were supposed to be. I know that now. And so as I got into adult years, and my husband and I had four beautiful children together. We have four adult children now. Um, I remember going through a period of time where I was severely depressed, and I had a lot of anxiety in my younger years, and I just thought it was the way my family was. I see my dad now, and my dad paces the floor, and I just think, oh my gosh, that was me. That was how I used to be. Now I'm able to sit down and enjoy life and really bask in the feelings of having ease and joy in my life. But there was a time when that wasn't part of it. And I even remember telling my husband one day, I'm so sick and tired of feeling like this. And of course, he thought it was him, and it wasn't him, it was me. There were so many things that I was unhappy with inside of myself, I was unhappy with in my life. I'm looking around, I had a beautiful family, an amazing supportive husband, but the inside of me was not happy. The inside of me did not feel good. It affected my health. It was affecting so many areas of my life. And I remember thinking there has to be more than this. And I was actually sitting in church one day. I no longer go to church, but I remember sitting in church one day, and I was sitting there with my four little kids on the benches. And I remember thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Because for me, I had never made a decision for myself. I had always let everyone else tell me what I was going to do. And I did everything to make everybody else happy, whatever that was. And I remember thinking in the church, the church always tells you you should ask and figure it out for yourself. And I was like, why am I 30 whatever years old now and just realizing that I need to figure this out for myself? But here we are, right? And so I did. I went on this quest for myself, and I decided that if I was going to devote my time to anything, I was going to know for myself that it was for me. And so I started with the religion that I was in, and I really started looking into that. And was this something that I wanted for me in my life? And I spent a long time really studying and deciding. And I remember when I finally realized that this was no longer for me. This was not going to be part of my life anymore. I didn't want to be part of the religion that I had been raised in. I didn't know what that looked like for me. That was actually very scary for me, because we were told that if you leave religion, you're going to hell. You're all going to die. And I just decided that it wasn't for me. And so I decided, well, if that religion wasn't for me, what was for me? So I started looking at other religions. I started reading the Bible. I was in the LDS religion, so we were big on the Book of Mormon and those type of things. And I was like, well, if that doesn't work for me, then what does? So I started looking into the Bible, looking into religion as a whole. And it was in the middle of that I was introduced to intuitive healing, spirituality, and a whole other world opened up for me. And I realized that one question, that one day in church, is this all there is for me? I realized, no, there's not. There's this big old world out there for me. And the minute that I stepped into this world, the one that I so lovingly have today in my life, the minute that I stepped into that world was the moment that everything changed for me. And I realized there was so much more out there. Now, I'm not dogging on anybody's religion. I respect everybody with where they're at. I work with people inside of religion, outside of religion. It doesn't matter. To me, it wasn't about dogging on religion or saying that it was right or wrong. For me, it was no longer right for me. And this whole world of spirituality, the way that I felt within religion told me what I had to do. In my religion, they told me how I even had to pray to this God who loved me so much. And if I didn't do it right, then he was going to smite me down. Where spirituality taught me that this God is me. This God is inside of me who resides. This love, this godlike energy is me, and that we are all connected. And that to me just felt so much better because I never understood the whole how could this God love me, but yet he's going to smite me down if I do something that he doesn't like. That just didn't make sense to me. And so for me, that was when I really stepped into this place of, oh my gosh, you mean I can do what I want? You mean I can make my own decisions? I can decide for myself what works for me and my family and what doesn't. And this like started, oh my God, it blossomed into this beautiful thing. Now, it's not that every day has been beautiful. I really had a hard time stepping away from religion. We have a lot of belief systems wrapped up in religion. The first one that I tell you, you step away, you're going to hell. I had to wrap my head around that. My father-in-law passed away in 2015, and I, in the middle of all this spirituality and waking up, I realized that, oh my gosh, I can connect with my loved ones and I can have conversations with them. And I love doing that still today. And so I asked my father-in-law, who was in spirit, what am I supposed to teach my kids now? Now, he was an active part of my life while he was alive, and he has been a very active part of my life in his passing. And so we have had a lot of conversations. And when he was alive, him and I would talk about religious things. He was very religious when he was alive. After he passed away, things changed and he opened up for me in a different way. In fact, the day of his passing, I connected with him was in just hours after he had passed. And the first thing that he said to me is, I always knew that you were an angel. That's what he said to me. It still brings tears to me, to my eyes today. Um, because there was a part of him that understood me better than anyone else. And even when he was alive, he understood me. We could have conversations that you just can't have with very many people. But I remember asking him one day in spirit, I said, what do I do now? I'm not sure what to do now. Like, I'm in this whole other world that seems very big to me. And I felt very small in religion. And I said, what am I supposed to teach my kids now? What am I supposed to, we've been told what to teach our kids and how to do it. And now all of a sudden I've got this open book that I can do what I want. And I remember him very specifically, teach your kids to be good kids, teach your kids to love, teach your kids to be good in society and to offer things to this world. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. It doesn't have to be wrapped around a specific thing. I could still teach my kids to be amazing humans. In fact, I get to teach them to be even better humans now because we're not constrained, or what I felt was constraint back then. And so this really was the opening up version for me. And as I stepped more into, and there's a whole lot of stories all wrapped into this, but as I stepped more into spirituality, more things opened up for me. I went and did my mediumship development. I have studied many, many, many different types of intuitive healing and have cultivated my own way of doing things, my own program, really my own way of really stepping into this intuitive healing world. The thing that I have noticed is that for me, intuitive healing was so easy. And when I started stepping into that world, it was this feeling of coming home to myself and stepping back into myself. And I really felt like for the first time in a long time that I had come home. And that's what it felt like. And it still brings kind of tears to my eyes today because as I step into that place of really coming home and knowing myself and really getting to know myself on a different level, doing my own healing work, letting go of these limiting beliefs, letting go of my childhood traumas, blessing my parents and sending them on their way, really allowing myself to step into this place of wholeness. And it's a practice. It's not something you do once and you're done. To me, this wholeness, this feeling of wholeness comes as, for one, we do it in layers. I like to describe layers as peeling an onion. The longer I've been doing this, though, we take 2 or 3 or 4 layers at a time instead of before. When I was working with clients, we would take 1 layer. The longer that I'm doing this, I've realized we don't need to do that anymore, that we get to take 3 or 4 or 5 layers, whatever we're ready for. I believe in the wisdom of my clients. I believe that they are so open to healing, and that I never put my clients in a box anymore. When they come to me, we are getting down, we are getting deep, and we are healing these deep, deep seated wounds and really allowing them to come into their full versions of themselves. I believe this with myself as well. When I do my healing work, I'm really stepping into it as healing those deep layers, allowing these things to go, and knowing that the work that I do is done. Knowing that that work, once we do it, is done. We are moving on to the next thing. I really believe so much in this power of healing, this power to change my life. The thing that it has done for me is, for one, it's completely transformed my life. Um, I'm sitting here on video today, really working with people on video. I'm allowing myself to step into that part of my life. I have healed so many things in my life that I thought that I would never get over. And right now I'm going through a major transformation again, yet again, that's on the deepest level. And I will share more about that. But it has been, the last really 2 years for me have been, um, not only have I healed my health, if some of you have been following me for a while, my appearance has changed. I've been able to release massive amounts of weight, and years and years and years of emotional healing came with that. I've been able to heal my health in such a big way. My business has transformed in such a different way and is continuing to transform today because of the healing work that I do. To me, I believe so much when we let go of our limiting beliefs, when we allow ourselves to step into this place of healing and really letting go and releasing and allowing this universal God love to come into our lives and help us to heal the things that we just cannot seem to get over. When we allow these things to happen, our life transforms in a big way. And like I said, as we speak, things are happening yet again. But this is kind of the process that I have been through, really allowing myself to step into this new way of being, allowing myself to be guided every single day. And you can do the same thing when we trust in something bigger than ourselves. To me, this whole healing work is we have to trust in something bigger in ourselves. There has to be something more than just us coming here, working, raising kids, doing Groundhog Day over and over and over again, and dying. That just doesn't make sense to me. That never made sense. I mean, I remember even as a kid thinking, why are we doing this? This is stupid. I remember, and I also remember thinking, if this God wants me to do all of these things, I'm going to fail anyway. Why am I even trying? I remember this like at 13 thinking, this is stupid. And I have kind of thought that the same thing too. Now I realize, no, there's so much more to this life. To me, we come here to learn how to work with our energy. We learn how to really work with ourselves, to heal our past and allow ourselves to embrace this life, this time that we have here. I brought this home for a reason, I guess. This was up at our cabin. We were at the cabin all weekend, and I had this up there. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, we all have a certain amount of time here. What are we going to do with our time? Are we going to spend it suffering and thinking that we are picked on and that life is hard and really living in an unempowered place? Or are we going to spend our short period of time here on earth healing our shit, getting ourselves together, empowering ourselves, and learning to live a fabulous life? I don't know about you, but when my time is done, I want to go to the other side with nothing left unturned. I want to be able to step into this empowered place and say, yes, I did it. I tried it. Even if it didn't work, I tried it. I did it. I lived a fabulous life. You know, I spend a lot of time traveling. My husband and I love to travel the world. I do these things for the experience. I do this for the experience of life. And you can do it too. We're here to have an experience. I look at life the same way I look at going on vacation. When I book a trip and I'm going to Europe or wherever it is I'm headed, we just got home from Colombia, South America a few weeks. It's been about I don't know how long it's been, about a month and a half or so ago. Anyway, when I do that, I don't have any expectations. I go there to explore. I go there to enjoy myself. I go there to see these new places and have new experiences. And I enjoy all the experiences that's offered to me while I'm there. And then when I come home and do the same thing. I'm here to enjoy my life. I'm here to have new experiences. I'm here to do all the things, and you are too. So when we can look at life as an experience instead of this Groundhog Day over and over, what loop are you stuck in? Are you stuck in the suffering loop? Are you stuck in, we got to do the same thing every day? Maybe you're stuck at where I was and doing everything for everybody else, and you're living your life for everybody else, and you haven't learned to take your power back yet. If that is you, you are in the right place, because we're going to pull you out of that. It is time for you to take your power back. So many of us live in an unempowered place, and it is not helpful. We have to learn to take responsibility for our lives. What happened to you as a child is not your responsibility, but what you do with it as an adult is. And we have to step out of this victim world, this victim mentality, and really start taking our power back and learn to live in an empowered place. And really, to me, my whole journey of really stepping out of all of that into what I do now today has led me there. And I'm learning that each and every day. I learn it more each and every day. This last year and a half has taught me that even more. There has been some unempowered things that have happened, but because of that, I have stepped into my power even more fully, even more greatly, knowing that I have, because I believe this power comes in segments too, just like healing, and I can step in an even deeper place of empowerment every time I go through these transformations, and so can you. If you learn how to do it, if you learn how to walk through the right steps. So we're going to talk about this more on upcoming segments. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. Leave me a comment. I love reading them. I want to know what you think, good, bad, ugly, otherwise. And let's empower each other here. How can I empower you? How can I help support you? Ask your questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, sign up for notifications so you know when new videos are coming. And I will see you again on the next show. So thank you for being here today. If you know somebody who would like this, who would benefit from it, please share it with them. Let's get the word out there. Let's spread the word, and let's empower each other together. So much love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.